Before the written word, before parchment or tablets, there were stories. For over 40,000 years, human beings have used storytelling to preserve memory, shape identity, and make meaning of the world. Long before history was written, it was spoken. Archaeological evidence, such as cave paintings in France and Indonesia, dating back over 30,000 years, suggests early humans gathered around fires, using image and sound to communicate meaning. These proto-narratives likely blended myth, memory, and ritual, forming the foundations of oral storytelling. As humans migrated outward from Africa, stories evolved alongside languages. Oral tradition became a cultural constant, a way to pass on knowledge, values, and survival strategies across generations. In primary oral cultures, as Walter J. Ong explains in Orality and Literacy, knowledge wasn't stored in books or scrolls, but in the performance of memory. Repetition, rhythm, and formulaic expressions helped speakers retain and transmit vast bodies of information. By around 3000 BCE, oral storytelling had taken on epic dimensions. In ancient Mesopotamia, tales like the Epic of Gilgamesh, first told orally, were eventually inscribed on clay tablets, becoming some of the earliest written literature. But long before writing, they lived in voice and memory. In ancient India, the Rig Veda and other Vedic texts were transmitted orally with breathtaking precision. Scholars and priests used intricate mnemonic techniques to preserve these sacred verses verbatim for centuries, a testament to the sophistication of oral cultures. In ancient Greece, the Iliad and Odyssey, attributed to Homer, were composed around the 8th century BCE. These epics were rooted in centuries of oral performance, shaped by bards who used meter and formula to aid memorization. As Ong notes, such oral forms fostered a different kind of consciousness, one attuned to sound, presence, and audience. Oral storytelling is not confined to the ancient world. Across sub-Saharan Africa, griots, oral historians, poets, and musicians, preserved genealogies, political histories, and moral tales through performance. As Ruth Finnegan writes in The Oral and Beyond, these traditions are not merely entertainment, they are forms of law, education, and communal memory. In the Americas, indigenous nations developed rich oral cosmologies. Creation stories, hunting myths, and seasonal narratives taught ecological knowledge and social responsibilities. In Australia, Aboriginal Dreamtime stories, transmitted orally for tens of thousands of years, map the spiritual and physical landscapes of the continent. Laurie Honko, in his essay, The Folklore Process, emphasizes that folklore is not static but dynamic. Oral traditions adapt with each telling, responding to new contexts while maintaining cultural continuity. This process, performance, variation, reinvention, is the essence of oral storytelling. With the invention of writing systems, oral stories began to be recorded. But even as texts emerged, orality remained central to cultural life. In 400 BCE, rhetorical training and public oration thrived in both Greece and Rome. Thinkers like Socrates, who never wrote down his teachings, relied solely on spoken dialogue. Amphitheaters amplified the human voice, turning storytelling into mass performance. By the 15th century, Gutenberg's printing press revolutionized communication. Written texts proliferated, but oral traditions persisted. In Ireland, for instance, missionaries like St. Patrick wove biblical narratives into existing Celtic myths. In Scandinavia, Norse sagas, once recited by skalds, were finally written down in the medieval period. The Brothers Grimm in the 19th century collected German folk tales passed down orally by peasants. Their work helped preserve a corpus of European or oral culture that was rapidly vanishing in the face of industrialization and literacy. In the 20th century, anthropologists and folklorists began documenting oral traditions around the world, often racing against time as globalization and colonialism threatened linguistic and cultural diversity. Scholars like Finnegan and Honko played key roles in developing methods for recording and interpreting oral performance. Meanwhile, oral history emerged as a formal discipline. Today, oral storytelling is more vibrant and more adaptable than ever. It thrives in podcasts, spoken word poetry, political speeches, religious sermons, and live storytelling events. Platforms like The Moth and TED Talks echo the age-old practice of standing before an audience and speaking truth into the air. In Indigenous communities worldwide, oral traditions are being revitalized through bilingual education and digital archiving. These stories are not only cultural treasures, they are acts of resistance, resilience, and renewal. From the firelight of ancient caves to the flicker of a modern screen, storytelling remains a distinctly human act. It is how we remember, how we connect, and how we imagine. For over 40,000 years, oral storytelling has transmitted knowledge, emotion, and identity across generations. It is not just a way of communicating, it's a way of being. And as long as there are voices to speak and ears to listen, the story will continue. If you're inspired by the power of oral storytelling, at EduPhund.com you'll find a collection of books based on traditional oral stories from around the world. Each story has been simplified to ensure it's accessible for EAL and ESL learners. Visit EduPhund.com to browse our books and find the one that speaks to you.